but still it wasn't working because there was that comfortability to think, oh, you know, even sometimes when a customer would come and say, we want you to do this, but because I know I've got a job somewhere, I would not put 100% effort into it. Or sometimes someone wants food done on a weekend, but maybe that's the weekend I've promised my boss I'll cover the hours that I couldn't cover during the week. So it was really difficult. So I just told my boss, you know what, even this part-time job is not working. I'm resigning. Said, Ruth, you're crazy. You are very, very crazy. You don't know, you don't even have customers and all that. How are you going to do this? I said, I don't know, but something has to be done.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. So you've gone through a number of important lessons in there for people. I mean, first is where you discovered that the path of following to do like a law degree or whatever was not in line with your values and your passion as a person, because the places and the areas where you're spending most of your time and money was doing the cooking and being creative with food. So that's quite an important lesson for most people who they are pursuing something because of pressures either of family or the environment around them, but not pursuing actually something that is in line with their values. And that's the path that we took. So in a way, you took it, whether I guess it was consciously in a way, but most of the time people read and understand about how to do these things from either reading books and understand what you can do, follow your passion. And in fact, you just talked through a lot of the stuff that I talked about in the the new book that I wrote about how people can start thinking about starting a business.
Right.
It's exactly those things. I call it the blueprint to starting your inspired business, because an inspired business is like you have, which is something that is linked to your passion. But people get bogged down in the sense that whatever it is that is inspiring to them, sometimes they can't see how they can monetize it, how they can make money from it. Just like people look at a cook, it's like, oh, you can't become big or successful or whatever as a cook. But people have made it big and make millions and things, being a cook. But there is also an element of sometimes it's not just about the money, it's also about serving people. And when you prepare like good food and you get the compliments and people are like, wow, awesome food from Ruth, and things that there is that element of the contribution you're doing to people and how it makes you feel as well. And that's all part of the package, and it looks like you discovered that yourself as well in the right way, which is great.
Great, dude.
and also you've gotten to have this challenge now of finding that you've got children, and then you've got a work, and you've got that comfort of maybe a regular paycheck. But if you give it up and go the business way, there's that fear and element of, what if I don't have customers? What if it doesn't work? So that safety net of a job sometimes keeps you from progressing and making that breakthrough into success of something, because business and everything is risky, and it's also hard and difficult. And sometimes you don't know where you will land. You never get to realize your potential because you're stuck in there. But again, for you took that decision to jump. So, all those traits of people who succeed in business by making those decisions, you're already demonstrating. And that is, very good lessons that people can take and resonate with your story and your success as well, which is brilliant. So how did then things move on from there to start and grow your business after resigning from work?
Okay, so after resigning, I had to come up with a business plan, because mind you, everything else I was doing before that, I was just doing it as a side hustle. There was no proper structure, there was no plan, there was no, So I had to come up with a business plan. I had to find a I wanted to do that, then things become easier. So, yeah, after I registered my business, I started, advertising and learning more. I went on more training, but it wasn't easy to start with because most of the time it's just like when someone goes for a job interview, say like a graduate, they're like, how many years experience do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, we want someone with experience. We want someone with experience. So it was that challenging because people were like, oh, can you show us the events you've done before? And then anything else I was doing before, as I've said, it was just like, for fun. I didn't even think about taking, which is so important. People need to know anything you do, whether you're just doing it as a gift, you're just doing it whether it's a birthday cake, you're just giving it to a friend. Take pictures of it. Take a record of what you're doing. Because I had all these things in my head, but there was nothing to show on paper. I had no evidence to tell people, look, I've catered for my friend's wedding. I've catered for a party of 50 people or 100 people. So some people were like, we're not sure about this, especially but then just delivered. From there, then people were so impressed. They were happy with the food presentation, the quality of the food, the taste of the food. Everything was just ticking the box. So word of mouth went round. It was so good that, the people who were there, some of them were taking the numbers straight away. It's like, oh, I'm going to be getting married next year. I'm going to have a party next year. So it started building from there. And that's how I started progressing. Yeah.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's a great story. But if you had gotten stuck in your day job, this is something that you wouldn't have broken through into,
Not at all.
Yeah. So I mean, what would you say, or what would be your advice to people who maybe are in a similar situation and they are maybe stuck in a day job, but they have a passion of some sort? What can you advise them, bearing in mind your experience and what you went through?
What I would say is, what I'd advise such people is just to say, follow your dream. And I think the problem I've realized is that people expect success overnight. It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of discipline. I always say something has just been passed on to you. But when you're starting from scratch, there's so many things you need to sacrifice, like, sleepless nights to adjust. That's what I did. I had to adjust, because you get used to that. Okay, I know I'm getting paid today. I can afford to go on this holiday. I can afford to go and buy this sort of things. I can afford to live like this. But then when there's no paycheck coming, what do? You learn to adjust. But this is where most people struggle, because they always think, so how am I going to? Customers are not coming. Let me go back to my job. I've had moments like that whereby I've been tempted to call back my ex-boss and say, I know he would give me back the job, but the reason why I quit in the first place is what, I said, no, I'm not picking that call.
Yeah.
Because you think, oh my God, there are no customers this month. I haven't had customers for the past 2-3 months. It's normal, but I just have to keep building, and eventually it picks up. But people give up easily because they want success to come overnight. They want to advertise their business today. You think, it's so exciting because when you're coming up with all those plans, when you're coming up with your whatever you're advertising, your plan, you kind of see like customers are queuing outside the door. You see yourself making millions in a day or in whatever, but it doesn't happen that way. Reality hit by you. Yeah. But most people easily give up because they don't have that patience. You need to have that patience for something, and just being consistent, just being working on it, working hard. It's like when you plant a seed in the ground, it doesn't just come out the day after. It takes time. There's a season. So I think this is where most people miss it.
Wow, that's great. Now, what do you understand, and what does it mean to you, the word mindset, like the mentality and the mindset of people when it comes to business?
Mindset. Ooh, that's a good question.
Mm.
I think it's for me it's lack of knowledge, really,
Mm-hmm.
lack of information,
Mm.
and because we've been built in it, most people have a certain way of thinking. Perfect example is what I shared before.
Yeah.
People only define success in one way. So that mindset to think the only way to live is this way is what makes people to be stuck,
Yeah.
because it's just like one direction. The only way I can get to London is just through this way.
Yeah.
You forget that you can fly. You forget that you can take a train. You can. There's no just. If you want, you can even cycle.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
how I see that. That's where the mindset. Yeah, just lacking information and being stuck in just one corner, thinking this is the only way.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm,
No, that's great. So, have there been people, because part of the success in business also is about the network and the environment and the people around you. Have you had
mm,
people like mentors? I mean, you mentioned your pastor before, who give like a
mm,
presentation which actually helped you to
mm.
see the direction that you wanted to go. But have there been along the way people also who have helped you or mentored you in the journey into business to get to where you are now?
A few people who have mentored me. As I said earlier, that at the beginning, I had to find a mentor. I had to network quite a lot. I had to change my circle, really, because I thought, okay, if the environment I'm in is not helping, I need to be somewhere. So I I joined a network of like women in business, and then there's another network of just people in business. So those networks really helped me, and in those networks, I found people who are ahead of who are where I want to be. When I see my 5-year plan, 10-year plan, I'm seeing people who are there, and when they started sharing their stories, I was like, wow. So I can learn from these people. Unfortunately, and very fortunately for me, these people were also able to share, or try this person if this one doesn't work, or maybe try this one. And yeah, I found that network really helped me, and those people. Oh, my coach, we fight like cat and dog, but it's
Yeah.
very, very helpful, because I thought, there are times I go for my coaching sessions with him,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to start arguing and all that, and sometimes I feel like, I'm not coming back here again. But then
Yeah.
following week we make up, we are best buddies, because I realize that he is not my friend to be sugarcoating, but he's there
Yes.
to help me. And
Mm.
I look back now, the past years, I'm like, I needed this, because if not for those people, if I didn't have my business coach, probably I would have given up. If I
Mm.
didn't have those people around me, the network system, those people who cheering me on, those people who are saying, Ruth, don't take left, take right.
Yeah.
It has really helped me. So yeah, it's very, very important to have such type of people
Yeah, and
when you want to win.
yeah, it's great that you mentioned that as well, because sometimes the
Mm,
people around you, if the vibes and the feelings around are not conducive to where you want to go, they can also pull you down, and that's where you say you had to change a bit of your circle and get into networks that would help you. People who are almost like-minded, they are in business, but they can also challenge you, not just sugarcoat what you're doing and sing your
yeah.
praises and say, oh, this is great and whatever, because it doesn't push you to that breakthrough of success, but it helps you to grow as well. Because, in business, as in anything, we never arrive. There's constant learning, like you find, like
Constant learning.
in your
Yeah.
field, you have to be creative all the time. Something that you create
Mm,
before, you want to wow people in a different way. So you're always
mm,
thinking of
yeah. It's
things.
good you said that, Alex, because when we were talking about mindset earlier, when I
Mm,
talk about changing the cycle,
mm,
some people's mindset is business is not work.
yeah.
So I was in a circle that, people would be asking me, so why don't you want to work? Doing a 9 to 5, I feel like I'm doing a 9 to 9 or even a 23 out of 24-hour job.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of mindset that they think, oh, why is she not working?
Mm.
And then they go like, why are you doing business only? Why don't you go and work?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that sort of environment can kind of feel like, I need to shift here. So
Yeah, absolutely. And when you discover that the mindset and the thinking which is here is not the same kind of mindset and thinking that will take you to success, that's when you try and align yourself to the right kind of people, the right kind of groups who think in a similar way to you, and they will help you on that. Yeah. That like we say, the mindset that takes you somewhere. In most cases, you need to upgrade your operating system. It's almost like a computer. If you have a computer which is Windows 97, it's not going to run a new operating system, which is Windows 2000, whatever. You have to upgrade your systems. And in development, that's what as people we have to do. We always have to upgrade ourselves. But if you stay in a circle which is not conducive to that, it's difficult for you to make that breakthrough. So, those kind of understandings and people listening to this and hearing your story, they can pick up on those to say at least they need that kind of new mentality, new mindset to say they need to surround themselves with successful people who have gone through the process, and they can help them to actually move forward as well. People like yourself, which is great. So now. Where is the business now, and what's the vision? Where do you want to be?
Okay. The business now, it's I think when I started off, it was mainly for events.
Yeah.
Catering for events, which was going quite well until the pandemic, which is a story for another day.
Yes, I imagine.
But yeah, I think you can imagine the frustration, with everyone, with everything that has happened. But that it is what it is.
Yeah.
But what I started doing during the lockdown, because with all the events that I had been pre-booked, all the weddings for 2020, even beginning of 2021, had to go. So that's just back. It felt like back to square one. So I had to start doing takeaways.
All right, great.
I had to start doing takeaways where people just have to pre-book and collect. And I can say something positive has come out of it, because the greatest demand was from charities who were able to order food for people who were recovering from COVID or who were isolating.
Yeah.
And mainly families, probably maybe mom or dad were both positive and children had no food. So I came up with a package whereby these are freshly made meals, tasty meals that can be frozen, and the children can just put in the microwave and eat. Even the people in the recovery, I know most people maybe were struggling with taste and all that, but another baby was birthed through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a community meal, which is something separate from the business, but it's really going well. But in terms of Ruth Super Kitchen, going ahead when all this is over and all that, it's just to be able to have a center. That's the vision, really, to have a center where there's a center of excellence and creativity, where we're not just teaching one thing, like it's not just about cooking, but it's all these things that we are talking about: mindset, following your dream, following your passion. That's where that's the vision. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So you can share your knowledge as well and help other people who have and the passion to also realize their dreams, which is great. So at the moment, is it all from home? You have a restaurant, a place, like after the pandemic? How has the business progressed? Like, do you have staff as well, people who cook for you, and how big has the business grown?